9mm handguns are by far the most popular handguns in America and probably in the world. And most people that went out and bought new handguns over the last couple years probably bought a 9mm. More so, this has been the trend for a couple decades. 9mm handguns are hitting the market unlike anything we have ever seen before. Every year there's hundreds and hundreds of new 9mm handguns coming out. So what we want to take a look at is we want to look at the most reliable 9mm handguns. Now, in order to make this list, it can't just be a new handgun. There's a lot of new handguns that probably are reliable. But what I'm talking about is reliability that's sustained at least the last several years, where people have gone out and bought a ton of 9mm, and reports show, and my experience shows, that this is a very, very reliable handgun. So with that being said, here's the top 10 most reliable 9mm handguns. Number 1, Sig P226. This is still to date probably Sig Sauer's best handgun. They've made a few other 9mm like the P320, but you know, P320's had a lot of malfunctions and failures reported by police around this country. And then they came out with the P365, but you know, we got to give it a little time. P365 has only been out for a few years, but to date, the 226 has proven not just a great 9mm, but has proven itself in police around the world, military around the world, on the battlefield. It is a proven, tried and tested, extremely reliable, probably the most reliable 9mm Sig Sauer makes. Number 2, the Glock 17. Glock 17 was the first handgun built by Gaston Glock, and we're going to consider all of its subsidiaries, all the smaller versions of the Glock 17, because the Glock is a Glock. So when we say the Glock 17, we're also including the Glock 19 and all the other Glocks in that category, because the Glock pistol is an extremely reliable pistol. When it first came out, a lot of people questioned it and referred to it as the plastic gun, but time has shown the Glock pistol is one of the single most reliable handguns in the world. And military, it's by far the most popular police handgun in the world, hands down. Number 3, the Walther PPQ. Walther's came out with a few over the year, but the PPQ and its variants, extremely reliable. Just really one of the best handguns that Walther's made in a long time, probably since the PPK. But the PPQ is tried and true, very, very reliable 9mm handgun. Number 4, Heckler & Koch's VP9. Now the VP9 is H&K striker fired 9mm handgun, but goodness gracious, it's by far their most popular handgun at the time, and definitely an extremely reliable one. Now what I will say is that H&K has made a lot of reliable handgun. This is their most recent one. That is proven to be extremely reliable. So it's definitely making the list of the most reliable 9mm handguns ever made. Number 5, FN Herstal's Browning Hipower. Now Browning quit making the Hipower a few years ago, and a few manufacturers have picked it up. Springfield being one, and FN Herstal being the other. Now I'm going to claim the Browning Hipower has always been known to be one of the most reliable and accurate 9mm handguns of all time, with 100 years of reliability. Now because Browning quit making it, FN Herstal was the original manufacturer of the Browning Hipower. So what you have is you have the original manufacturer just recently picking it back up, which makes the FN Herstal version of the Browning Hipower, in my opinion, by far the best. It is the original, made brand new. You just simply can't beat it. Number 6, the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. And I'm also going to say really all of the 2.0 variants, the Shield being by far the most popular concealed carry 9mm the Smith & Wesson makes. I've never even heard of anybody having a malfunction with the Smith & Wesson Shield. And to be quite honest, I've never heard of anybody having a malfunction with any of the guns on this list, to be quite honest, including myself. Now, the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield, again, is one of the most carried handguns out there. For years, it was the most purchased concealed carry 9mm. Time has proven it's extremely reliable. Very good concealed carry handgun. Smith & Wesson's just been nailing it with their 2.0 M&P series, and this is just another example of that. Number 7, the Springfield XD. Springfield XD is created in Croatia, and this is including all of its variants as well. There's smaller versions, bigger versions, different calibers, similar to Glock, but the XD in all of its variants is truly one of Springfield's greatest lines that they've ever come up with. Very reliable. Anybody that's ever owned any sort of Springfield XD will tell you that it's one of the best handguns they have ever owned. A really exceptional handgun. I had an XDS with an extended barrel. Just an incredibly accurate, wonderful 9mm handgun. Number 8, Taurus G3 series. Taurus came out with the G3 series several years ago. And of course, this is also going to include all the variants, including the G2, the G3C, all of the different Taurus Gs, all of the variants of the G3 also make this list. What Taurus did was they created a handgun that's extremely affordable and extremely reliable. Just outstanding handgun. Oftentimes when people ask me what I would recommend as far as a handgun, I always at some point will bring up the Taurus G3C. Just a great handgun. Very similar. The G3C in size and the G3 is like a Glock 17 or a Glock 19. But the Taurus G3 definitely makes this list. Number 9. The CZ75. My all-time favorite. I believe that the CZ75 is probably the best 9mm handgun ever made. Love the internal rail. Love its accuracy, and that's really what truly sold me on the CZ75 is the accuracy of this phenomenal pistol, and of course the reliability, which is why it makes this list. CZ75 is always my go-to 9mm. If I have a 9mm on me, chances are it's some sort of variant of a CZ75. And finally, number 10, any 1911 that'll take a 9mm. Of course, in the last several years, a lot of people are creating 1911s that shoot the 9mm, being an extremely popular round. And the 1911 has proven to be probably the best handgun ever made, because most of the handguns, if not all the handguns on this list, took technologies from the 1911. So you wouldn't have any of the other guns on this list if you didn't have the 1911. Of course, the 1911 is traditionally 45 ACP. However, putting a 9mm in it makes it really a fantastic 1911. So there you go. I know there's a ton of 9mm out there that are sure great and reliable, but these have proven the test of time to be by far the most reliable 9mm handguns of all time. I'm sure there's some I missed. Again, put them in the comments below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel with Patreon. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.